Hello, everybody. Good morning, and welcome back to the STEAM train. This was meant to be our 11 a.m. lesson, but we had some technical difficulties. I actually performed the whole lesson, but none of it went live, so we're going to have to re-record it, but it's okay. We'll have this posted on newminds.tv. I won't be able to interact with you guys as much, but that's alright. We're still going to have an awesome lesson today. You'll probably notice that we are in a different room. The reason is this is going to be our permanent place for the STEAM train. This is a bigger space. I can actually move my arms around. There's not a wall directly behind me. I can stand, I can sit, I can do all sorts of things and actually still be on the camera. So it's going to be a lot better for us, and we're going to have an awesome time. I'm Mr. Doran with New Minds, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. You'll also probably notice that we have this box back here. This is my magic toolbox. Every single day, I'm going to come in here, and it's going to be filled with everything I need for my lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. We're going to see what's in our magic box today. Thank you, Magic Box, for helping us and being so amazing. So, first thing we have some string. That's interesting. I wonder what we're going to do with that. We have some crayons. We have some colored paper. I have some sunglasses. You want to be careful with sunglasses that you use. If you have your own old 3D sunglasses, that's fine. If you use your parents' sunglasses, all we're going to do is trace these. Make sure you ask permission first and they know that you're using them. Because you don't want to accidentally take their super nice sunglasses and then mark on them. They might be really upset. The next thing is you're going to need some scissors. Remember, always be careful with these. You're going to need a ruler. I have some markers. And I have tape and glue. Thank you, Magic Box. I think we can figure out something to do with all of these. I'm going to go ahead and put him back on his spot. So today, I think we should learn about masks. Masks are super cool, and they've been used all throughout history in different cultures. If you don't know what a culture is, it's just a group of people who all live a similar way. There's plenty of cultures all around the world. The cool thing is that every single one at some point has come up with their own form or type of mask, either for a holiday, a celebration, for protection. Maybe it's something you use in a professional field, which just means when you have a job, you might need a mask for it. And all these different things are all super cool, and we can make an awesome project to show that. We're actually making a celebration or decorative or like a superhero mask today. Because some people have holidays, like Chinese New Year. They have a big dragon that comes through. It's actually not a real-life dragon. That probably cause a big mess and a big ruckus. But if you have this big dragon mask, you can dance around and people think, oh, that is a dragon. Or in Africa, they have these awesome dances for different animals that are important to their culture. They have a monkey that's face is full of fruit as a mask, so they do this big performance and they have these big grass skirts on and it's super cool to see. Maybe they are a hyena, so they're going to be a mischievous character and they have these masks on. And most of all, if you're a superhero, right, you're going to have a secret identity that you want to keep a secret. You don't want people to know who you really are. So you want to make a mask that covers up your face, and then people won't be able to tell who you are. And of course, your mask is going to match your superpowers. The first time we went through, I actually made a fire mask. I wanted to have fire powers, and it looks a little like this. So we're going to be able to make a super awesome project like this. I'm going to walk through the steps with you. And it's going to be a really fun thing to do. The first thing is we need to make the bottom part, or the base of our mask. I'm going to make the base of mine green. I think I'm going to make a lizard mask this time, or maybe some sort of colorful bird. I haven't decided yet. But the first step you want is to take your construction paper that you want to be the main color. You can always use a white paper, add patterns and colors. On top of it, you can always draw new designs, you can always make new patterns, you can always put things on top and layer it, like different polka dots, things like that. But whatever you want your base color to be, I'm going to use mine as green. If you have old 3D glasses without lenses, like I do here, these are going to be really helpful for tracing the eye holes. But if you have some sunglasses that you borrowed and need to be careful with, you obviously can't take out the lenses, they need those. So you can trace around the outside and still have the eye shape that you want. We're just doing this so we know how big to make the eyes. So I'm going to lay mine flat. I'm going to lift up the edges and go ahead and trace them. So I'm in two eye holes. I'm doing it in the middle of the page so that way I don't go off the edges too far, and I'm actually going to draw a design around this. So I want to make sure it's in the middle. Take your time, make it look really nice, make it look super cool. Let me trace the other side. Awesome. So I just traced my 2 eye holes. They're going to look a little like this. It's just 2 circles on the page. Keep in mind, glasses don't just have eye holes, they also have somewhere for your nose. So you want to draw almost like a frowny face in the middle of this. Make sure it's not too close. You want to have some green in between, or whatever color your page is, of the eye line and your nose line. Because you're going to cut this out so you have room for your nose. So I have kind of a big nose, so I'm going to make mine kind of big. It's going to look like a big frowny face. This looks like a really sad face. Once you have that, we're going to draw what we want our mask to look like. On my fire mask, I drew all sorts of triangles and points because I wanted it to look like an explosion. So I drew around the outside of my eyes to make all my different spikes. This one, I'm going to make it more scaly, so I'm going to make some smoother kind of bumps. But I am still going to make it bumpy. So as I'm drawing, I'm going to show it to you. So I'm drawing around. I'm making sure to leave a lot of space between the eyes and the edges, because that's the actual part of your mask that's going to cover your face. We're actually going to cut these eye holes out, and I'll show you a super cool way to do that. But you want to draw on the bottom and on the top. There we go. So I have the start to my mask. So of course, first of all, I'm going to cut this out. I want to make sure to reuse this paper later, as I can use it for all sorts of different projects, or even this one. So I'm going to cut around the outside of this and make sure to leave my paper nice on the bottom, because I might use this later. So I'm going to go ahead, cut around the mask. I like to do one big cut first, and then I do all my small cuts. It's a little easier for me. Maybe you like to make it perfect the first time around. That's okay too. So I have saved a lot of this, and now I have my mask sitting here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut around the outside and make it a little nicer, a little smoother. And then I'll show you the awesome trick to cut out the eye holes. We'll add our details, and then we'll make a story about our mask. Here we go. I got the top half. I'm getting closer. Make sure if you have little scraps, you keep them in a nice pile. You don't want them to go all over the floor everywhere, because they get really hard to pick up. I'm cutting around the nose hole now. Remember, when you're using scissors, be careful. Make sure your fingers aren't behind the page. Even if you're a master at using scissors, you still want to be careful. They're still sharp. And now I have the start to my mask. The next thing I need to do is cut out the eye holes. Now there's a super awesome trick I like to do to make this work. I like to find the flat part of the line, so right here on top, and I fold it across. So the line is lined up on both sides. So I just folded my eye hole in half. I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to make a very small cut on this line. Just like that. And then when I open it back up, there's actually going to be a little hole there. And I can use this to put my scissors in and then cut around the rest of the hole, so that way I can cut the hole out of the middle without having to make a line through the middle of my mask, so it's going to stay nice and sturdy. That's one cool trick, and you can use this for all sorts of things, not just a mask. Anytime you're going to cut a hole out of the middle of paper, that's how I like to do it, is to fold it in half. Maybe you have your own way to do it, that's okay too. So I have one of my eye holes cut out. Now I just need to cut out the other one and then make sure they line up. Cut out my other hole, I'm going to fold it the same way. And now I start cutting and cutting. I think this is going to look pretty good. It might even look better than the first one I did. So once you have your 2 eye holes cut out, it may take you a little longer. Make sure it lines up. If you put it on your nose, you should be able to see through it. If you can't see through it, this is when you need to know to make a change and start over. You don't want to make the whole mask and then realize, oh, it doesn't fit on my eyes. Make sure this is first, because your mask doesn't really work if you can't see. It's not a very good mask. So I can see out of mine pretty clearly, so I'm going to move on to the next step. My first one, I added some fire pieces on top, like a big orange piece of paper and a yellow one. But on this one, I think I'm going to add some feathers. I think I'm going to make this a really colorful bird. So out of my orange paper, I'm going to make some different feathers that I'm going to glue on here. Yours doesn't have to be the same as mine. Mine's not even the same as mine from earlier. So just take your time. Think of a cool idea. Think about how you want to make it. As you're finishing this, think about a story that goes along with your mask. Every mask is made for a reason. Why is it like this? Maybe you're a knight and this is a piece of your armor. Maybe you're someone who's a welder and you have to wear this mask to keep sparks out of your face. Maybe it's something silly like you're a superhero or you're a super villain who likes to eat bagels, but you don't even want to know it's you eating the bagels, so you make a secret mask. You never know. I'm excited to see you guys' stories. The cool thing about this new room we're in is that as this wall is going to fill up with all of you guys' awesome projects. So if you send us pictures and you let us have permission to post it on our wall, we'll also take a picture of it and put it up on the wall so you can see your own project up there. It'd be super cool. So all I'm doing is I'm making little feathers like this that I'm going to glue along my mask to make it look like a bird. So I'm going to make a couple more of these feathers, making sure to pick up my scraps to keep my workstation nice and clear. Think about any time you've seen a mask in real life. Maybe you were in a parade and you saw someone with a mask. Maybe you were watching a cool dance routine. Maybe you went on vacation somewhere and they showed you something of their culture. Maybe you're wearing it for protection. Maybe you're playing paintball or something like that. Masks are super cool and they're used all over the place. Even doctors use masks to keep them safe. I'm going to keep cutting my feathers out. I think I'm going to do a few more. I'll show you how to attach it and then I'll show you how we can wear this mask, because there's a couple cool ways you can do it. There we go. So I have 6 feathers. I think this is enough for me to get a start. I might finish this later and post a picture of it on our page. Don't forget to check out newminds.tv. This one wasn't live, but it will probably be posted there and you can watch it along with all the other lessons. Sorry about the technical difficulties today. We'll get them worked out for next time. I'm going to start gluing my feathers on. When you glue, a really good rule is hold it down and count to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to make sure it's stuck. If you glue it down just a little bit, it might peel off really quick, but if you press it down while the glue's still drying, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it'll actually stay stuck a lot better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I have the feathers on my mask. Just like this. This is technically a finished mask, but I can't wear it yet unless I hold it up the whole time. But then I can't really use my hands. So I'd be a super good superhero if I can't use my hands. I'd have to hold my mask up the whole time. So we're going to make 2 different ways you can attach this. One way is actually with a headband. So we're going to make a headband like this. You can put it on. You can attach the mask up high. Mine doesn't fit around my hair, so I'm going to do a different way when I wear mine. But you can attach it on the top, have it float over your eyes, and then you'll see you'll have a mask you can take on and off like a hat. The other way is actually attaching a string to it. But to make a headband, all you need is to make 2 really long strips about 1 inch. Cut, 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 cut. And another one. Cut, cut, cut. Cut, 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 cut. Uh-oh. And now I have my 2 strips. I want to glue just a little bit over each other. Fold it. Glue a little bit of the other side over each other. And then I'll actually have my headband. Just a little bit of glue. Hold it down for 5 seconds. Make sure not to get glue on my table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fold it like a donut. And then glue the other side. Glue, glue, glue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. So now I have a headband. This is going to fit on pretty much anybody's head. The only reason it doesn't fit on mine is all my hair gets on the way. So if I actually squish my hair down a little bit like this, I can probably fit it on here. It'll look a little silly, but I can get it to fit. There we go. So it's kind of squishing my hair. You want to make yours the correct size for your head. Mine's a little small. I would probably need a third piece of paper, and that's okay. And I would glue my mask on top, but I'm going to put strings on mine. And there's 2 ways to put strings, but they always go in the same place. Right next to the eye, on the top, just like where the band of a glasses would go, is where your string is going to go in. If you have string, this is the way you're going to want to attach it. I'm actually using yarn. It's a little bigger and it's a little softer, and it works really good for masks. You're going to make a hole right next to the top of the eye. Now we're going to do this the same way we made our eye holes, but we don't need a big hole because we're just putting string. So I'm going to fold it, just make a tiny little cut, just like a straight line across. You probably can't see that on camera, but it's just a little slit that I can put my string through. On the other side, I'm going to show you a different way. You can actually just take a hole puncher. If you have one, I have a 3-hole puncher, but I'm only going to use 1 hole punch of it. So I put my mask through, put it in, hole punch it, just like that. And now I have a hole. You notice there's space between this and the eye hole, and there's space between this and the edge. This is that way my string won't disconnect. It'll actually have something to wrap around. So you want this to be a little bit bigger. Mine's actually kind of short, but it will work pretty well. I'm going to put my string in one side and tie it. The other side I'm going to tape it to show you 2 different ways you can attach it. When you're cutting your string, make sure it's either too big or the right size. You don't want it to be too small, because then it'll hurt. So you want to measure around your head until you can touch the 2 ends in front of your face. Take it off and hold the piece you're pinching right here so you know how long to make it. And then just make a cut. Make sure you're careful of your fingers. Uh-oh, I dropped mine. Mine was about here. Be careful of your fingers. You can always remeasure. You can't get a new finger. There we go. Now I have my string. Now I'm going to go ahead, put it through the hole punch side, wrap it around, nice and slowly, then tie a knot. If you don't know how to tie a knot, you can ask whoever's with you to help you, or you can tape it, and I'll show you how you can tape it. But I tied a knot on this side. The other side, I'm just going to put it through the hole and then put a piece of tape on it so it stays in place. This is another option, and they both work about the same. Duct tape's going to work a little bit better. Normal Scotch tape will work. You just have to make sure to get a nice big piece on there. So I put my string through my other hole, the small one that's a slit, just so you can see a different option. And then I'm going to tape it down. Just like so. Bam. So now we have our finished mask. When you put it on, it's probably going to slouch forward a little bit. Make sure it goes on the right way. Put the string over. It's probably going to lean forward like this. That's okay, and this is actually meant to happen. This is why you made the string too big. You're going to put the string over your ears like glasses. Oop, let me line mine up. Let me find my ears. I might mess with hair. And then you want to pull the strings back over your ears and down. And this will actually pull the mask to your face, so it's going to stay on. And this is actually my finished lizard bird mask. I'm not quite sure what this one is. And I have same super cool fire one from this morning. Let me pull him up. So this is your mask, and it's your story to tell. So you can make a comic book about your new superhero you made. Maybe you make a dance that goes along with this mask. Maybe you have a whole new story that you made, and this mask can be part of it. All those would be super awesome options. Sorry for our technical difficulties today, and thank you for tuning in with newminds.tv. I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson, and thank you for tuning in with Real Inspired Learning once again. Keep practicing your passions until they become your talents, and I hope you guys all have an awesome